Hello and welcome to the practice midterm solution video. I didn't get a chance to go through a solution in class today, so I'm creating this video, which is probably better. I am assuming that you have fixed your just base starter document. I can't stress enough that I have given you this Word document with a basic recipe for fixing it. Step 1 was repair the HTML and CSS. So I gave you a completely broken starter page. There was all kinds of problems up in the head, particularly. I am assuming that you have fixed your HTML and your CSS. We did it in class. It was pretty broken. There were big problems, like it didn't have a doc type. The HTML tag was closed in the wrong spot. Moral of the story, all I'm going for is that eventually a validator would help you sort out some of the issues, but you cannot validate this until you take care of just the huge flaws. And I'm also saying, hey, if you think you fixed everything, make sure that you do validate it, because if you don't have valid syntax in your CSS, in your HTML, just generally speaking, you have no chance at creating a successful document. So I'm assuming you are at this place. If not, well, sorry. Yeah, run it through a validator, use your eyes, compare it to what I have. Not a lot I can do. Assuming that you have the same starting document I do, which you probably don't, because you're probably ahead of me. I've got this Word document, and I've also got this picture showing what it should look like when we're done, and I've put callouts in there which specify the basic properties that should be set. If you just wing it and try and make your document look like this, I don't think you're going to have a lot of success. But if you use this and refer to that, I think you're going to be okay. So here's my document. I'm going to run it in Firefox just to see what it looks like. Not so good. If your document looks like that, you're in the right place. So which should I fix first? Well, that's done, so I'm going to do body, and I'm going to do some things to the body of the document. I do have a body selector. I had to create that. It wasn't there. Alright, so I am going to be putting in a background image. And so the syntax for that is URL, no space, and I need to know what that background is called. Now if I refer to this, you can see it's called Tweed, and you're like, what the heck is Tweed? Well, that was one of the data files that you downloaded already. So, I'm in the wrong place. Documents, 195, web, midterm practice. Right here's tweed.png. So that's what it's called, which is very important. .png. I don't need to specify any other properties because by default that's going to repeat on the X and Y, which is what I want. So I'm going to save this, head on over here, refresh. Alright, good. I didn't completely miss. If it stayed white, it means I have a bad link, which I don't. So I was supposed to do something else. Set the font. Well, let's look at our picture. Arial black font, so you have to know what that means. And I am setting it at the body level, presumably, right? I put them in the same call out. So font family, let's go Arial black. So I had to put quotes around that. Well, I guess I didn't have to. But when you have words with spaces, that's usually a good idea. I'm going to save this, make sure it took. Not much happened. That's fine, actually. Oops, I don't know what I just did. Anyways, so fine, I'll just continue ahead. What's the next thing I'm supposed to do? So that's all I need to do to the body. Now I need a container div. Alright, so this is something we do in class all the time. Let's go look at my document. Is there a container div? There is. Here's the div, here's the ID container. It looks like it encompasses the entire body. Very good. Now do I have a selector for that up here? No, I don't, so I'm going to create one. Alright, so what properties do I want to do? So let's go look here. So 800 pixels wide, it's centered, and it has a background color. So it sounds like that's all I really need to do. Well, not really, but we'll start there. So I'm going to do width, 800 pixels. Center, that's actually margin. And now, I didn't say this, but I do have a 5 pixel top and bottom border. And auto, that is really how you center something. You're really setting the left and right margins to auto. And I had a background color, which I always misspell, as ABC, which is a light blue. Let's go have a look. What do we got here? Okay, so that's pretty good. It doesn't look exactly like my example, but that's okay. The difference is I have padding and rounded borders, and you can see that is what this callout is saying. So 20 pixel radius and padding. So let's apply that. So that's going to be border radius 20 pixels, padding 20 pixels. That should be a huge step towards making this thing look like what it's supposed to look like. A swing and a miss. Right? Whenever you go to refresh, something went wrong. What did I spell wrong? Well, I didn't spell anything wrong, but I forgot a semicolon. Classic mistake. Alright. Pretty good. Right now we're getting somewhere. We've got the right shape. So what should I do next? Right, if I was just trying to create this document from scratch, I wouldn't really know what to do next, but I'm not creating it from scratch. I've got this. Everything was there. So style the header. Alright, so does my document already have a header in it? Let's go have a look at that. It's a combination of going back and forth. Looking at the structure here, I do have a header already. Do I have a selector for header? Oh, I do. So I don't need to create that. And I've set the overflow to hidden. And we haven't done a good job with this in class yet. There will be a time when we do. For now, I'm just saying we're going to set that to hidden, which is going to fix some clipping issues. That doesn't need to mean much to you. That's why it's already there. What do I want to do that header? Again, I already forgot. I want to float the image. I want to center the headings, and I want to style heading too. So that's a bunch of different things. So I'm going to center the headings because I can do that. That is text align center. All right, and let's see what that does for us. Okay, got it. This image, though, I want this image floating to the left. All right, so let's see how the document's set up. So let's go look at our header. Here's my image. It has an ID, and the ID is logo. So I don't need to, I don't know, I might need to create it. Do I have a logo? I do. And so you can see that the image has already been set to 150 pixels wide. So I did some of this for you to take the guesswork out of it. And if I want that thing aligned to the left, well, I'm just going to say float left. And this is going to make the text wrap around it as well. It's just one simple line of code. But it does a lot in terms of getting us to where we want to get to. Right? So now, technically what I've got happening is this is centered, and I've got two elements on the same line, which I achieved through a float. Now the last thing I need to have happen, I am going fast, I am aware of that. That's what the pause button's for. As this thing right here. So style the H2. It says font family script. So I'm trying to spoon feed it to you. So that is an H2 within the header. Do I have a selector for that yet? Here's my header. I do not. So I'm going to use a descendant selector here. So I'm going to say header H2. Now the reason I did that is I only want to style the heading 2s that are inside of the header. Does this document have any other H2s? I'm looking through it. It doesn't. So I could get away with just the generic selector H2, but I'm not going to. And all I'm going to do is font, family, and like I said, script. Script isn't a great choice at all. It's going to work fine in Chrome and Firefox, but it's a good example of Explorer is just going to reject it. It's not, everyone can't do something about this. I'm going to save that. I also know that the color is gold because I was kind of just working with that. I don't know if I said something about that, but it's pretty apparent from my example that it's some kind of a shade of yellow. Now if I do this, alright, right, this is what we're supposed to have. Pretty good. And let me show you what I mean by this isn't going to work right in other browsers. If I launch it in Chrome, it's going to be fine, I think. It's going to take a second. Oh, Chrome didn't like it. Oh, maybe it's just Chrome that doesn't like it. Not so good. Alright, fine, it only works in Firefox. I was aware of that already, but I just wanted to give you guys a little practice doing some fancy scripting, and also good idea to understand probably just don't use fancy text, and if you are using fancy text, there are other solutions, but it's not going to work perfectly. But that's all I can do. Sorry, that was confusing. That was that. So I'm through 4, right? I'm halfway done. Now we're going to deal with the nav bar, and this is the majority of the heavy lifting. So I think things like set border, what do you mean? well, let's go look at this thing. So the nav bar has a double border on top. Now this is kind of a typo. It says bottom border. The border actually applies to the nav bar. So let's go examine the structure of our HTML. Our nav bar very clearly goes from here to here. It's an unordered list full of list items, which are full of links, which we had to do a little fixing earlier on. So let me look at this again. Border spanning the entire distance. So the interesting thing, these are list items. There's an unordered list containing these, and the container for the entire thing is the nav. Here's my nav. My nav does have a background color of CCC, which is gray. It has a margin. I'm going to put a border top, and so what's my attributes? It's 5 pixels, it's double, and it's black. Let's see what we get here. Okay, alright, so getting much closer, so there's that. Now to set border, set list items widths to 125 pixels. I just wrote that in the instructions because I was running out of room for callouts. So the list items, list items within my nav bar, that's right here. Width 125 pixels. I also gave you some things about like font weight and float left. I didn't have to, but I did. Let's see what this does. This unsmashes things, which is a very good deal, right? By default, they were just all running together, completely unacceptable. What's next on our list? Center the text. Center the text. That sounds like text align. And so this is meant to be a tough document to start, but once you get going, you see really just kind of go through line by line. I did walk you through it, as long as you know what the attributes are called. And we haven't gotten rid of these bullets yet, but we will. So I guess I never told you to, and so that I think that's reasonable that I didn't say get rid of the bullets. It's implied that you should get rid of the bullets. It's really one of the things that we do every time. So I'm just going to go list style type none. Now, kind of an interesting thing is you could do this here, or you could do it at the list level. Either one of them works fine. If I save that, let's give it a look. Getting better. Now I just kind of generically said style the anchor tags. This is something that I expect you guys to be quite good at by this point. What have I given you already? So I've given you the blank containers, which is kind of a weird thing to do, but I did it. So really one of the things that needs to happen, I need to get rid of these underlines, and I need to change the color of the text. Now if you look at my example, I've made the font black and I got rid of the underline. So that's text decoration, and that's none, and the color is black. I don't even know if I did black. I think I did 1, 2, 3. Oops. I think I did 1, 2, 3. It's close to black. I think that's good. Now, what else? What have I given you here? Alright, so the thing I was kind of getting at, and I'm glad I put it on here, is my navigation bar needs to be centered. We're not there yet. It's the last thing. So style the anchor tags, that's fine for that. And so on hover, change color and background color. So that's going to be the, the pseudo class, right? A hover. So I'm going to say when you hover over it, and so the interesting thing about this is I didn't tell you what color to do, and I'm not hovering over it. So I'm leaving that up to you, whatever you want to do in terms of, I don't know what's supposed to happen. You tell me. So I'll make the color gold, maybe? I don't know, something. Background color, we'll do white. I don't know. Right, I'm looking to see that this thing's functional. Ooh, that's pretty bad. So this also brings up another thing. So notice that when I've got this kind of effect happening, really these should be behaving like buttons, not like text. So that means I need to do display block. And I need to do display block right here. That means treat the link like a block element instead of just the text that it is. And you see that does this. Is this good color scheme? I don't have the answer to that. Probably not. But I didn't really tell you what to do. So just something that makes sense. Now I need to center this, which is the last thing I have. Set the width of the nav bar and center it. Alright, so that implies quite a bit actually. you need to know how wide your elements are. I've got a width of 125, and I've got 4 of them. So presumably they've got a total width of 500. So the list items add up to 500, which means that their container, which is the UL, needs to be at least 500. So let's go 500 pixels. This should work. It should work just fine. And here's a trick. When you're doing this, it's really helpful to put a border on it. I'm just going to 1 pixel, solid, something strange, like green. Just so you can see it, right? Because if you have problems, this is going to illustrate those problems to you. Refresh, and you say, oh good, that looks like what I want it to look like. Now the reason I do that is you're going to do some guessing, right? If, say, I try 550, and you can see, oh, that's a little too big, right? Because at some point it's too much. I'm not saying you need to get this perfect, I'm just saying something like that. And at this point, I can center it. Alright, so you center something through setting its margins, and I'm going to go 0 and auto. You could do this earlier, but you cannot center something which takes up 100% of the thing that you're centering it within. Right, that's a messy sentence, I realize that. If we look at this, you can see what's happening. Now it's centered, and now it's time to get rid of that border. That border was just an intermediary step. If you're ever confused about what's going on with your document, put a border on it. What it really does is it just illustrates the shortcomings that your document has. Alright, we're almost there. 15 minutes in, we're almost there. So now the article, I'm saying justify the text and align the images to the right. Let's have a look. Do we have any article tags? We do, from here to here. And so I said align the text. So align the text. Let's see, do I have an article tag up here? I do, right here. So it has some padding, and if I want to justify its text align, justify. Now this is not something that you do all the time, but I mean, it's not too much of a stretch. Text align center is something we do quite frequently. And now my text is justified, in other words, has smooth edges, much like you'd see in a magazine or a newspaper. I need to align these images. There are 2 of them. Let's kind of look at how things are structured. Here are my 2 images. This is probably not good alt text. I need to give them an ID, right? If I want to style them, you guys should know that inline style is bad, so I'm going to make you give them an ID. Maybe. Unless I've done something up here like article image. So I'm using a descendant selector. This means every image within the article, which is exactly what these are. These are images that are within inside the article. On that note, I should probably tab this out just to illustrate the container. So all I want to do is float those to the right. Right? I've got some stuff in there already. I've set the width. I've set the margin on these things. Clear is going to work with our float to give us the desired effect. So I'm going to say float right. Seems like it'd be a lot more. It's not. I kind of did the hard part, which is the clear. And there we go. I think that's pretty much what it's supposed to look like. And just show you what that was, right? That was a single word. Floating always has a dramatic effect, but I do a lot of the heavy lifting for you at this point. Soon you'll have to do it on your own, but not for now. Footer. Create it. Use a H5 for the content, center the text. So looking at my document here, footer's going to be at the bottom. So this is the exception. This is the only piece of HTML that you're going to have to write. So I'm just going to use the footer tag. I'm going to close that footer tag. And in here I was pretty explicit about saying you need to use an H5. And down here I'd say something like Ken Swartwout, special character, let's go copy, semicolon, and some stuff, right? You can write your own stuff. Save that. We're not quite done, but we're almost done. There's my footer. Let's look at the example. So this, I just kind of turned you loose. I figure at this point you should have a hang of things. And you're like, okay, well that footer has a gray background, it's centered, and it's bold. You can just tell that by looking at it. So, do I have anything about the footer up here? I'm looking. No. So I've got to create a selector for the footer. And at this point, if I want bold text, that's going to be font. Weight bold. I didn't tell you to do that, so if you didn't do that, it's not an issue. I did tell you to do the text align, and that's going to be centered. That's it, right? Center the text. Yeah, that's it. The whole bold thing you didn't really need to do. Did I save that? No, I didn't. Oh, background color, CCC. And now we are done. Right, so that was a 20-minute video, and I just sat there and talked about things we already did for the first couple minutes, so less than 20 minutes could be done. Right, so this is what you're left with. So if you're comfortable with this, you probably don't have a whole lot to be worried about in regards to the midterm. It's going to be the same format where I'm going to give you some broken CSS, some broken HTML. You're going to have to sort out the problems, and from there you're going to have to style it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to watch this as many times as you need to. It's the best thing that I can do for you. Alright. See you soon.